Alan, how the hell are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking. It's great to be back on the show. My third appearance.
Yeah, we said we'd get the hat trick, man. We delighted we did it.
The hat trick boy, yeah, can't beat it.
Nice one, nice one. Nice. So look, you just mentioned it yourself. You've been on here a couple of times already. People will already know you. They'll know. Usually when we have someone on, we ask them to tell us a little bit about themselves. But for yourself, I suppose what kind of fill in the blanks here? What have you been up to in lockdown, and how has lockdown been for you since you were last on?
And the Europe Hotel where I work is it's a hotel and obviously a gym and leisure centre and has members, and due to government guidelines and COVID had to close again. So again, it was another hammer blow for all the mess and stuff. But I didn't dwell on it. I just absolutely lambasted myself with tasks and topics to do. Kept myself so busy during lockdown. I'm actually looking forward to going back to work for a break from everything. Like, would you believe people were there to me today? Oh, you're back to work week. I said, no, I'm going on holidays next week for the few weeks up to Christmas. I tell you, some of the days work I've put down lately, and even some of the educational stuff, Andy, I've done. I did like 4 webinars a week, reading. I read about 3 books during the whole lockdown. I listened to tons of podcasts. I just trying to maximize everything most days. So it was good. Obviously, my online business keeps me going as well. So I'm happy the way lockdown went. I know not everyone's going to say that, like, oh geez, I had a few struggling days as well, like, with the dark winter mornings and stuff, but I just kept myself busy and we're out of it again.
That's like you just said it. You kind of outlined what I thought you would be doing. You're the kind of guy who is all go, all go, all go, all go. So
Yeah.
when we were chatting about having you on the podcast, you were talking about that you were studying at the time right now as well. So what are you studying, and why did you kind of decide to take the time to do it now?
So I'm doing a strength and conditioning courses that St. Hannah Colleges be a higher certificate in strength and conditioning. It's all online based, and there's like modules in Thurles workshops, but they're all cancelled through COVID. So they had to kind of revamp their style as well. So instead of us traveling to Thurles because we're not allowed, we had to do like videos of teaching exercises and then loads of projects and assessments. So the strength and conditioning route's a big interest of mine. And along with that, then they kind of tie in with each other, but with a separate body. It's the UKSCA. It's strength and conditioning, the English body, and it's very, very tricky exam. So this last Saturday, I was over Zoom. I had to present my case study. Brilliant. I left it. My brain was so challenged. Like my thinking, they really test you and they really they really grill you on every single detail of your program, why, the rationale. So the preparation for that actually made me a better coach. It really improved my knowledge. I think if it happened, if I had to present it during, when I'm working any football teams and stuff, I probably would have had to throw in the towel, or I don't think I would have put as much work into it. But luckily, it came at a time where I had a bit more spare time, so I was putting hours upon hours prep into it. I won't get the results for 4 weeks, but what I say about it, and anyone who has failure, you win or you learn. So I've learned an awful lot of it. I would be disappointed if I don't get through it, but look, I'll just go again because I found from preparing for it, I really learned an awful lot about strength and conditioning, programming, dealing with clients, dealing with athletes, and it's going to improve me as a trainer as well, personal trainer, as long as well as a strength and conditioning coach.
And so the reason for going back, I suppose you were always going to go back, but you just managed to use this time, the extra time that you have now, to go back and do it, did you?
Yeah, with the UKSA is through Kerry GA. So I work a bit with Kerry GA, underage and development squads, and do strength and conditioning with them. So it's kind of essentially a requirement now for Kerry GA coaches to be UKSA qualified. So the county board are subsidising some of the modules and the workshops for it. So it's great, we're benefiting from it, and they're benefiting from us long term because the players are going to obviously be working with good S&C coaches. So that's the whole idea behind it.
It's unreal. It's great to hear people invested in people with that. It's a really cool thing that you're going to benefit from, and like you said, it will come back in leaps and bounds for the Kerry GA as well. So look, how should people approach going back to gyms next week, whether it's the mindset or it's the actual program themselves? People have been out of gyms now for 4 or 5 weeks, maybe a little bit more, and even then they would have had to come back into it as well. How would you advise kind of the regular person's kind of approach going back into the gym next week?
Nice and slow, like, definitely, like, don't expect to go back in and lift the same weight you did like 6 weeks ago when we closed. Just leave your at the door. I would start with a nice handy program, 2 weeks of like anatomical adaptation. So like high repetitions, 15 to 20 reps, low weight, maybe half of what you're lifting before, and before you know it, you'll be back up to where you were a few weeks ago. But just enjoy going back as well, which is important, because like we know how easy it can be taken away from you. So enjoy being back in the gym, in the environment, or whatever choice of activity you do. Some people will be going back doing classes, others will go back to their gym programs. So just enjoy being back and embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because we have, if this year has given us anything, and look, it's a lot of shit has happened, but the idea that exercise and everything that is associated with the fitness industry can be taken away from you like that, is it's been a tough realization.
We should be. I think the gym should be classed as an essential service, like, because Jesus, it's vital. And like, there was no cases. Studies have been shown all over, even America, there was minimal cases in the USA, and that's a huge country. Like, I think it's brought gym standards up hygiene wise tenfold, which is brilliant. Like, and so it's great to be back open. All going well.
All going well, it will be. And exactly like I said, I think this is it's been a bit of a wake up call for the industry, that it can be taken away, but more so, like you said, the hygiene standards and the standards of the service we provide to the regular people out there is going to go through the roof as well. So you talked about the gyms opening up. If you're sitting there now and you're planning out your programs, how would you be laying them out? I know you talked about high reps and all that sort of stuff. Would you be talking about full bodies? Would you be focusing on one area of the body in your first session? What would you want to do?
Again, Andy, it depends on how you want to, how many days a week you're actually going to train. Like, so if you have 3 sessions of weights and you're into weight training, I'd probably program it like upper body one day, lower body the next day, and then total body. So that's a nice mix instead of 3 total body sessions. So you're hitting your muscle groups twice in the week, upper, lower, and total, which would be good. Or you could go push pull legs, but then the only with that is you're only hitting them once a week. And again, it all depends on how many days a week you're going. Like, you want to get some cardiovascular in there as well. Like, some quality cardio is important. I think the mix of training is important. Like, I've done it myself for years, where I just went into pure almost bodybuilding style. I went into too much sports specific training. Like, a nice mix of training is good. Like, you want to be able to move as well, which is important. Flexibility, mobility. Training for longevity is important.
Very true, very true. And that's actually something I've noticed about your stuff on social media recently. You've recently moved into kind of more, or you seem to be putting more stuff out there, that you're talking more about the Olympic lifting and stuff. Is that something to do with the course you've been doing, or is that something that you just kind of you're naturally moved into and you want to explore a bit more?
A lot of it is to do with the course I'm doing, like, but as you can see, I hope I don't come across. Whereas, this is the only way. I never said that. I tried to just show people clips of it, like, and even my program the last day, like, your man was the assessor. I was giving my rationale of why I think this exercise better, why I don't think this. I'd never be black and white. Yeah. I love trying different things, new things. Like, I do a lot of like calisthenic stuff, and I never say this way is the only way. I just love trying different stuff. I think it's good for your body, and it's good for challenge your mindset as well.
Yeah, 100%. So the gyms are reopening next month. Basically next month. But at the same time, we're coming into December. So December traditionally would have been a quieter month for PTs. But this year of all years, I think it's really important to emphasize to people that there's no point in looking at December going, oh, sure, I'll do something in January. It's a really important month. Like, how important do you think it is that people actually take the month of December and either get into a gym or like keep up their activity levels that they've been doing at home, because it's going to be, you don't want to waste another month, because I'm sick of the Monday mentality that I've talked about so much, know.
Yeah. No, Andy, I see it the whole time.
Is that something you would be focusing on with your clients, your online clients, to make sure that they make the most of this month?
Absolutely. I got calls in the last couple of weeks from online clients, inquiries. Look, we don't want to sign up today. We want to sign up in January, because I know you'll be really busy, and just get ahead of the queue. And I'm like, I'm there, okay. But like, I'm secretly saying, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I got one couple to start with me there. they're 2 weeks in, like, and by the time Christmas comes around, they're going to have serious habits created, like. And I said, I don't care about that. See, my business is customer focused, not transaction focused. So, like, I say 8 weeks, but like, if you're really close to a goal, I'm not going to cut you off. You know, like, I'm going to continue to plan until we get to the really. And so I said, come on, mate, sign up now, and I'll extend the 2 weeks of Christmas onto your program if you want to take a break. But like, by the time Christmas comes, the guarantee they'll have such good habits built up. Why throw the handle of the hatchet at it and just go crazy for 2 weeks, like, you know?
I love that phrase. It is, but it is like you're going to look back in January, and there's so much you could have achieved the previous month. I think actually myself and yourself chatted around this time last year, and we had a similar enough discussion. It's a very different year, but it's still the same things last, you know. Making sure that you don't waste time, because we don't get enough of it, you know.
Absolutely. It was this time last year, as you were asking me that question, like, I remember we were sitting in the office in the Europe Hotel, and the same thing was coming up to December, like.
Yeah. So I must get better at writing questions, because that was obviously a terrible one. We've already gone through that one.
But I'm surprised, Andy, that mentality's. I'm surprised that mentality is still there. Of like, I'll wait till January, especially for the year we've had. I'm still shocked that people are saying, like, it's a Christmas that's going to be like, it's different to others. Like, there's Christmas there, like, people that you're meeting, you're out every night of the week because you're out in the pubs and stuff. This Christmas probably won't be like that. So I'm surprised people are, still have that mentality, like, of, oh, we wait till January. No, we just go wild at Christmas, because it's going to be a different Christmas.
Yeah, some people have been going wild all year since March, so it's a strange one that it hasn't, like, we haven't got to the point where it's let's just do it now. Let's just take action, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alan, you're a wild man for books and self-improvement. You just talked about it earlier on, how much you've been going on. What's the kind of recommendations you'd be giving to people now? The best ones that you've been reading and listening to lately.
I did a lot of sports autobiographies, because I think you can relate a lot to them to life. I finished Zlatan Ibrahimovic's autobiography, so he was a pretty cool guy. And you never, like, the reason I go for these autobiographies, you're so surprised of, like, the upbringing some of these people had. Like, you know, you look at them and you think it all came easy to them, and then there's so many struggles. Like, this is an audiobook now. I'm at an audiobook. What other ones did I finish? Oh, there's a new Secret one that I've just started. The Secret, you know, the original Happy Guru book. Like, it's pretty good. I've just started that today on audio. I've read a book called Play On. It's for older athletes like myself or yourself who want. Your man wrote it in the hope of prolonging his sporting career. So he went around to Tom Brady and all the older athletes and picked out their best tips. I started Jimmy McGinnis' autobiography. Donegal, man. But I like him. I like coaching.
And how many books would you have on the go at the one time, between audiobooks and reading the physical book?
That's what I was telling you fella today. We shocked. Like, I definitely have 2 audiobooks on the go, if not 3 in the week, because I go between them during the day. Like, I was on my building site all day, and I had this nice little earpiece in, and I was just listening to this book. It was the Secret Footballer. It's like, they're actually a really good series. It's like some Premiership player who's wrote loads of. He's a whistleblower, basically. It's a psychology book. I was listening to that today. So I'd have 3 audiobooks, and then I'd be reading maybe 1 book by night then. So religiously, since lockdown, I've been reading every single night before bed. I just have to do it a page or 2.
That's a massive learning for people who maybe listen to this. It's anytime I've talked to you since we've met the first time, Alan, it's an incredible. Just looking at you, you're constantly talking about self-improvement and actually living it out. Because I talk to people on here all the time, and I sometimes just leave the conversation and I leave them all behind, because I am not that person who's always motivated. You're absolutely incredible in terms of how efficient you are at the self-improvement stuff. It's really motivational, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, in fairness, you can, and even this lockdown again, my efficiency is going to way up again. I've really improved my efficiency. Like, the fact that I am reading and getting through all these books, it's brilliant. Like, so I always, like, you know, make the most of my day as best I can. Like, so, and I'm going to keep going with that way, because, like, geez, the audiobook thing has just been a game changer.
Yeah, I know, it really does help. And the way you talk about them there, you're nearly talking about like their podcasts. You take a chapter here and a chapter there, and it kind of all melds in together. So that's a really cool way of doing it.
That's one thing I would say, Andy, as well. out of every single book, if you can just take one thing, and that's the way I find it. Like, you don't have to memorize the book. It's just take one thing out of the book, and you'll remember it, or out the podcast, or out to something you watch. So, and as I said about YouTube podcasts, like what we're doing now, I was never one to sit down and watch a podcast. But would I be on the laptop here doing online programs? I'd have like a YouTube podcast in the background. So like when this comes out, I'll sit down and watch it, which I've never done, and it's brilliant to watch a podcast too. It's cool, like.
Yeah, you can get a lot from it. And look, this is only our second one that we'll be releasing on there. We will get better at them. But you're of all people to have on, yourself, Anthony Claver, and then you, Alan. It's two big personalities that I really enjoy chatting to. So it's good crack, man.
Lots of hand signals going, like.
Yeah. So look, Alan, let's play a game before we finish up here. I want to play a quick game of word association with you, man. So I'm gonna give you a word. You're going to give me 1 or 2 word response, and we'll see where it takes us. So the first very easy phrase for yourself, someone who uses it all the time: social media. What's the first word that comes to your mind?
Social media. Instagram.
Okay. Kerry.
Football.
Okay, Alan. 2020. How was it? What's the first word that comes to describe it?
Challenging. Yeah.
Very, very true. 2021.
Exciting.
I like that. So before we finish up then, Alan, what's the kind of one piece of advice that you would give to any listeners, whether it's approaching December, whether it's when the gym's open, whether it's going into 2021, the one piece of advice you'd leave people with? And this does not have to last a lifetime, because I'm sure we'll have you on again for the 4th time soon enough.
I would say don't look at the end goal, because you can trip and fall if you go that way.
Interesting.
So you can trip before you actually get there. Like, so just, I think it's more of a process. Take it day by day, week by week, build it, like periodize your nutrition and training and your goal setting. Like, so don't look at the end goal, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles before you actually get there. And it's the journey that you enjoy, not the destination. So take it day by day, week by week.
100% agree with the journey, not the destination, because having the end goal is great, but it's that meaningful, that the meaning that you take out of each and every day is the important thing. In terms of the don't look at the end goal, though, I find that really interesting. Is that something you live by? Is that something you talk to different clients about? Is that something that different clients react differently to, or would you take that approach with everybody?
It's different clients like react differently to, like, I do. A lot of them do enjoy it's the journey and the learning for them that they really like. You know, they've lost all the weight and they look great, but like, it's what they've learned along the way. It's what I take kind of pride from, and they really enjoy it as well. Like, so definitely, no, I think it's important just to take it step by step. Yeah,
100%. And is that something, like, you seem to be the kind of guy, and we talk about it all the time on the website, on podcasts, blogs, whatever. You seem to be the kind of guy who's teach a man to fish rather than feed a man a fish.
Exactly, that's exactly it. Like, you know, that's all my. It's kind of a bad business model, because like, I don't, in a way, because a lot of people don't resign me, because it's like, Jesus, he's learned me loads.
Yeah.
But then if they really want me, they will come back. Like, so, but it's the way I want to do it. As I said, I'm client focused, not transaction focused, and it's worked for me so far. I'm very happy the way things are going, you know. And I think people see through that. Like, they see through someone who's there for the beans, like, and not the service.
Yeah, and look, there's always going to be people who are, like you said, out for the beans. But the people who are like yourself, who the word spreads about that they're client focused and they genuinely care about their clients. Those are the people we hope on the website, but also just in general in the industry, who I hope I love seeing you, and I love seeing you succeed, because you're the people who are the real hope for this industry. Which is a big way of saying that I really like how you work with your clients and you care about your clients.
Yeah, well, so some people say it's not the way forward, but I'm happy with it. I'm going to drive on with that, like, you know.
Yeah, no, in terms of even for your own conscience, Alan, even for your own conscience.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So look, people kind of got a feel for you. We've had you on a few times here, but so you can contact Alan if you want to become a client for 8 weeks, but also get a free 2 weeks by the sounds of things.
Exactly, it could be longer.
On thegymadvisors.ie/ADF. But Alan, man, you've mentioned Instagram already, but you're also on kind of social media, if you want to point people in that direction.
Yeah, it's at Alan Devane Fitness. That's all my handles for Instagram, Facebook, and I think Alan Devane PT for Snapchat, but I don't really use it.
Yeah.
So
Consistency across what you use is good enough for me.
yeah, exactly.
Now, Alan, you are also one of our affiliates on the site. You have a 10% discount code. If people want to go to store.thegymadvisors.e, you can pick up some of the stuff that you see behind us, plus much, much more. We have a cool delivery coming in next week as well. And if people use a discount code ADF10, they will get a 10% discount, man. So, Alan, thanks very much for offering that, dude.
Perfect, Andy. Thank you for having me on, and looking forward to the fourth one.
Yeah, we'll have to have that, man. Alan, thanks very much, dude. Thanks so much for your time.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
To the rest of you, though, as always, hasta la fitness, baby.